What up? What up? What up? What up? J Mo, what up? What up? What up? So they say promise to go global incorporated. What up? What's the deal? What's the dealio? Uh, uh, what's going on? Kirk Morris, what's up? What's the deal? What it's looking like out there? Delivering packages? That's what's up. Gotta get to it. Gotta get to it. Come on in, man. So I'm gonna cook up a little bit this morning before I hit the gym. Promise to go global. Said you need to get me my brother, please. What I need to do? Get you what? What you mean? If you saying you want to talk, I might do a call-in show later today. Depending on how I feel, man. Once I come from the gym, if I feel good when I come from the gym, I might do a call-in show. So make sure your notification on, so that way when I go live, you can come up and rap with me. I gotta mentally prepare myself for the call-in show. So if I feel like I want to take on that challenge today, then I might do it. What do I think about Ford Air? I don't have any complaints about it. I've never ran for them or I've done any business with them, but I haven't heard too many complaints about them, good or bad, you know. James Sandman, what's up? What's up? What's up? Promise to Go says, get you in. Get you in what? Get you in the business? You got a truck? You got a van? What you got? What you got? Get you in the, what you want me to get you in? Get you in what? Yes, just got the LLC. That's all you got? That's all you got is your LLC? What else you got? That's all you got is your LLC? What you gonna do with the LLC? What you plan on doing? What you plan on doing with the LLC? A box truck? What you gonna do with the box truck? What you plan on doing with the box truck? Rome said, waiting on episode. We might do it later on today. Wait, episode 34, what? The investment club? What episode we on for the call-in show? Is we on episode 34 for the call-in show? Or you talking about investment club? I was gonna do an investment club this morning, but do you recommend a holding company later on when scaling for taxes and liability purpose? I think a holding company is when you got a bunch of LLCs and corporations. When you're dealing with a bunch of different structured businesses and you want to house them like all under one roof, then I think that's when you should start looking for a holding company or looking at creating a holding company. Great Polo said you ain't did a call-in show in like a month because, man, y'all listen. When I be telling y'all stuff, I don't be just making it up for theatrics. The call-in show gives me a headache, man. Like I don't them facial expressions that I be making, and that should be real, bro. It be real. So like you can't say that, oh well, he does the call-in show. I listen. The call-in show to me, is more trouble than it to me than is what it's worth. Anytime you have to mentally prepare yourself to do something, then it's not good. Literally, it gives me a headache, bro. So it gives me a headache. So that's why I haven't done it. You know. So I may do one later on today, depending on how I feel when I come from the gym. What you sipping? Green tea? Nope. 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 A little coffee. Just a little coffee. Investment club, I might do one tomorrow morning. I was going to do one today, but I kind of got sidetracked. I kind of got sidetracked this morning. I was watching the Jerome Powell testify, and I had some other stuff going on in the background. So you said tomorrow, what time? I don't know. That's if I do it tomorrow. If I do one tomorrow, then you just gotta make sure your notifications is on. That way, when I go live, you'll get the notification. I may do one later. I don't know. I don't like to set times on stuff no more. I just like to just pop up whenever I in the urge or get the feeling to do it is when I just do it. But yeah, so maybe a call-in show later today. Once again, depending on how I feel, and we'll go from there. Is it about 2 or 3 new box trucks channels? There's always going to be new box truck channels. There's going to always be new whatever channels. No matter what sector you in, there's always going to be people creating new channels. Asman said the Discord pop-up was cool. Yeah, it was pretty dope last night. Shout out to everybody that popped up in there. I think a lot of people scared of the Discord. I think, a lot of people scared of it. But it's a lot of good information in there. So, hey, oh well. Oh well. Zupchuck, what's going on? Let me see. Yeah, so I just wanted to just jump on real quick with a topic real quick. I ain't going to be on here that long because I'm going to get out of here in a minute. Why it seem like so many people have a hard time in the middle mile? I mean, I got my idea why. I pretty much know why. I'm just curious to know what y'all think. Why so many people have a hard time with the middle mile? Because that's something that even James noticed. He said, man, it's not the moving guys, it's not the fun. It just seems like it's us middle mile guys. We just can't seem to get it. Why y'all think that's so? Why y'all think that's so? Why is the middle mile guys the ones that are having a hard time that just can't get it? They just can't get their lane. What's y'all take on it? Rome says more competition. That's one aspect. But I don't think, me personally, I don't think the competition is what the reason why a lot of people can't get it and why a lot of people, majority of people that enter into that lane fail. But that's a good That's a good one. Asman says the Discord is a great open source. That was a good play and the time was on point. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, I follow everything that goes on in there, and there's a lot of good information in there 24 hours a day. People start posting in there as early as, well, I think somebody was posting in there like 4 this morning, 3 this morning. You know, people are always up at warehouses, picking up stuff, dropping off stuff, sharing their experiences, you know, trading information, networking. So if you got a question and you in the middle and you on the new and it's the middle of the night, the Discord is your friend. There's always somebody up and working 24 hours a day. Zupchuk said not understanding that cost to run. I think that's one of the major key reasons. Too much direction and it's very advanced. People need to learn the field first, not rush into it. True. Mark, you should go camping, get outside. No, I'm gonna stay in the house. I'm gonna stay in the house, man. You know, content creators make fun of me because they say, man, this guy's always in the house, man. You know, it costs to be in the house. I don't think being in the house is a bad thing. To me, it's a flex. It's a flex. You know? The money got to be some money somewhere. Because for a person to be in the house all the time, man, it's got to be some money somewhere. Some money somewhere. Because the mortgage and all the assessments is still getting paid. All the bills is getting paid. Everything is getting paid in the house. So you tell me if being in the house is a bad thing or a good thing. On top of that, I'm 44 when I'm supposed to run the streets all day. When I used to run the streets, I used to always find myself getting into some type of trouble or police pulling me over, messing with me or something. If I don't got nowhere to go, I'm going to be in the house. I only leave out the house if I have somewhere to go. If I ain't got nowhere to go, then I'm going to be in the house. This is why you buy you a house, so you can be in it. You buy you a house, you buy something you like, so and you furnish it and you decorate it and all that stuff so you feel comfortable in it, so you can be in it. Ain't that's the purpose of working? So you can be in the house, so you can buy your time back and chill and still have money coming in. But nah, Great Polo, camping ain't for me, man. I'm a city boy. I'm straight, man. I'm gonna let you go out there with the snakes and the rattlesnakes and the garter snakes and the possums and the raccoons and all that stuff. I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. I'm gonna let you have that. I'm straight. I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. I could count on one hand how many times I've seen a garter snake in my life, and I probably still have some fingers left. Straight up. Promise to Go said they don't take it the right way. Rome, nah, we need Mark right where he's always good information. OG taught you well. Yeah, man, shout out to my OG, man. I like you in the house, my dude. You got the time. I ain't got investments. Gotta get you some investments, man. Gotta get you some investments. You build them over time. You work, bring you some capital in, and then appropriate your money that's coming in to things that will help you buy back your time. You know, so that's another reason why I started doing the morning lives and the afternoon lives. So we do a live in the morning, and we do a live in the evening. Sometimes those evening lives go way into the late night, you know, but it just, you gotta buy your time back so that you can do what you want to do with it. You know, so y'all said, so it's a few things that I saw here, and I think the one that stands out the most that I can agree with is one, not understanding the cost, and the second one I could agree with is advanced. I think that lane is very advanced, very advanced. They're all advanced. You know, a 26-foot box truck is costly nowadays, but there's a lot more, you know, involved as far as. So let me say it like this. Let me make it simple. The margins for middle mile are smaller than other things that you can do with a box truck. So, for instance, man, the Discord is popping right now. I keep getting notifications on the Discord. And Curious popping. If you're in the Chicago area, man, they steady sending me these notifications. I told you they reached out to me, and they just been pushing this shit. I don't know if they pushing it through to y'all, but they definitely pushing this shit through to me. The middle mile is, the margins are a lot smaller than a lot of the other things you can do with a box truck. Obviously, they're going to be smaller than moving, right? Because moving, there's no middleman. You know, with, you know, a middle mile, you're dealing with brokers, right? They're taking their fees. Some of you guys are dealing with dispatchers. You're paying for that. You're factoring. That's a fee. There's a lot of fees. You're traveling cross country, a lot more mileage, a lot more wear and tear, so more maintenance throughout the year, more fuel week to week. Your insurance is higher. There's just a lot of variables when it comes to middle mile. One, that lowers your profit margin, right? Your margins are small, and if you don't have your numbers trump tight, that margin of error is very, very thin, and that's why a lot of people fail, because it's more advanced, and because people just don't understand the cost. That equation, that cost per mile, they're not keeping up with their cost per mile. They're just outrunning. They're not conscious of, you know, the amount of money they spend. They don't, by not understanding that that particular lane is cost a lot more to run, and that your margins are smaller running that particular lane. People aren't, you know, just mindful of how they spend money. You know, if I was running the middle mile, listen, you would think I would probably be the cheapest bastard you would know. Listen, I'm telling you, Gas Buddy, anything like all that. Listen, I'm gonna be clipping coupons. I'm gonna be making sure I go to the place where I can get the free showers, the free parking. I'm gonna be clipping coupons. I'm gonna be making sure I get the right stuff so I can get money back on the gas, all that stuff. Like, I'm gonna be conscientious of all that shit. Like, you gonna think I'm like some like real. I'm gonna be a real coupon clipper. It's that serious if you run the middle mile, and if you're not that type of person, you know what I'm saying, that's real aware of what you're spending, and you're trying to save money every single place and every single where to cut your costs as much as possible to increase your profit, then it's gonna be tough, especially if you came in with a high cost of entry. Especially you guys that's scared of these older trucks. Like, there's a lot of people out there scared of these older trucks. I'm not scared. Me, man, listen. Man, if I was coming to the middle, man, I'm gonna go find, like, I would probably be looking for something around 2010, 2011, 2012. I'm not scared of that. I'm looking for something as cheap as possible. Let me go ahead and cash out. That shit about 10 years old. My insurance is gonna be lower. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about maintenance, all that other stuff that these people, remember the maintenance and all that goofball shit. You know why? Because it's gonna happen. But we're gonna make sure the truck is up and operational. We're gonna put the money that we need to put into it, and we are going to take care of it throughout the course of the tenure that it's gonna be, you know, working. We're gonna do the PMs when the PMs need to be done. All that. If I hear a noise, I'm gonna make sure I take it in to see what that noise. I'm not gonna let that noise just go on and ignore it so it can turn into a bigger problem. I'm gonna come in as cheap as possible. I'm not gonna be looking for no 50 and 60 and 70, $80,000 truck. I'm just not. because I already know what it's going to be. It's going to be more money going out and less money coming in, and I already know that lane is tough. The margins are really, really low. So yeah, those two people who said that, as far as it's really, really, really advanced, and the cost, like, you have to constantly monitor your cost. If I'm running final mile, and let's say I own my truck and my insurance is fixed, right? I'm not really burning that much gas because I'm local, especially if I'm in a real dense market, and I got a dedicated route. I'm making pretty much the same amount of money every day. Those mathematical equations where a person who has to do their cost per mile weekly, I don't have to do that. I might fill up my truck maybe twice a week. Fill it up on a Sunday. I might not have to put gas back in it until Wednesday again. Not even going 100 miles a day, depending on the market you in, depending on the route you got. You know, some final mile guys is going 150 miles a day. But I've had routes in the past that didn't even do 50 miles. 12, 13, 14 stops, not even doing 50 miles. Moving trucks, not even doing 30 miles. And these are trucks that, not the 26 footers, the 16 footers, let's say they'll have 3 moves, and them trucks will do 3 moves and won't even do 30, 40 miles. Why? The market is tight. The scheduling. I send a truck, okay, boom, it's first of the month, end of the month. All right, we got this many moves. Boom. I already know this truck. Boom. The first move I put on this truck that come in, I booked that for early morning. This in Hyde Park. Now I got the rest of the trucks. I booked them. Boom. Here go another Hyde Park move. All right, ma'am. Yeah, you got a 9 o'clock? No, we ain't got a 9 o'clock, but I got an afternoon. Well, I really need the move. Listen, I got an afternoon. Why? Because I already know I got a truck in Hyde Park. So I'm not going to put another truck to be in Hyde Park when I know I got other trucks that I can scatter out throughout the city. I'm going to force this lady to book her move in the afternoon or the evening. Why? Because I already got a truck in Hyde Park. And I know most of the time when people move in Hyde Park, they move within Hyde Park. Listen, I've had trucks literally do a move out of a building into a building in the same area, and then the building that we moved that person into, the next move came out of that same building. The truck didn't even have to leave. The truck was already, listen, we already got to move, ma'am. We're actually moving a person into the building that you're moving out of. So, you know what? Listen, I'm going to make it. If we can get you to do the afternoon, I'll knock 10% off your move. I think I carry my margin of 50, 60%. I'll give her 10 funky percent. I'd rather give her 10% off and make 40 to 50% than lose her altogether over a window. I'm saving money in the long run. Now the truck don't even got to move because it's already there anyway. So, you know, the middle mile guys is just really, really advanced, and it's, the workload is easier, right? As far as, you know, the hands-on stuff outside of the driving aspect, but you guys are right. Y'all right, you know what I'm saying? It's the advancement of that particular lane, not understanding their cost, not even keeping up with their cost. Keeping up with your cost per mile running that lane is work within itself, and that's something a lot of people just ain't doing. They too lazy. So if you don't want to do the math, you don't want to keep up with those equations, you want something that's a little bit more, you know, math simplistic, then, you know, you can come over to the moving lane and we'll get you right. Or you can come over to the final mile lane, a little bit less math, a lot more physical labor. It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off, baby. It's a trade-off, baby. What you want to do? What you want to do? So shout out to Sale. Ron said, relax and research, kick your heels up. I believe in your picks and advice. Yeah, I seen that the alts are green today, but I think BTC is going to take another dip. We already seen it starting to happen this morning. I think we might be looking at 49.50, but we'll see. No Cap Curie has been very busy, and now they have full day routes averaging. Yeah, that's what I think they want me to do for content, but I'm not committing to that, bro. Max says, what up, man? I'm interested. YOLO boy, what up? Asma said, moving is a grind, but it's well worth it. Definitely well worth it. Without the moving, I wouldn't listen. The moving is what got me in the door, right? Without the moving, I would even never known what final mile delivery was, right? Because my first opportunity came because of moving. You know what I'm saying? And that introduced me to that for me to create that separate company. So yeah, moving is, and then in times of, where the trucking company, when I started cross docking and I was learning that process, and I just had a lot of receivables that were just waiting to be paid to us. It was a lot in accounts receivable that we were expecting that wasn't rolling in the way we thought, but the money was shooting out because it was a different ball game. And they kind of didn't tell me, they told me, oh yeah, you're going to get after 45 days, you're going to get a settlement every week. But I thought it would be just like, running final mile as a master contractor. What they didn't tell me was like, yeah, it's going to roll in with what we've already received. So, it was those times where I was putting out a lot of money to the trucking company, and when the trucking company was cash flow was getting short, the moving company was there that was cash flow heavy to step in and loan the trucking company money to keep that shit going, because that cross docking shit, man, if I had to do that shit all over again, and let's say it was presented to me, I would turn that shit down. But you live and you learn, so we got through it. And but all the moving saved the day, because the moving is just liquid. We come there, we charge you a couple $100 an hour. If the job is 10 hours at $200 an hour plus whatever other fees, then at the end of that move, at that 10 hours, how you paying? You paying credit? Okay, it's gonna be a 3.5% processing fee if you use a credit card. Okay, no problem. And we bill them $3,000, whatever. So that's 10 hours of work, and that's a $2,800 or a $3,000 bill, just right there for 10 hours. You feel what I'm saying? And the margins are high on that, and you're not getting that with any other lane. You're not getting that middle mile. You're not getting that final mile. You're not getting that doing, dedicated gig shit. You're not getting that type of money like that. So, Deion Wilson, what's going on? Nostalgic future. What is the box truck business per se? I think I'm thinking into it too much. Moving, transportation. Box truck business could be moving. It could be final mile delivery. It could be from a big and bulky standpoint. It could be final mile delivery from a curbside one-man standpoint. It could be middle mile, which is pretty much dock to dock. It could be Amazon Relay. You could get a box truck just to run gigs. If you can get a box truck to run dedicated gigs, you got gig apps right now like Curie that are running dedicated lanes. Gig apps are getting contracts with the retailer now, because the retailers are realizing that they can't rely, or they don't want to rely nowadays solely on 3PLs. 3PLs have always been known to not be 100% reliable. And not to say that the gig apps are, right? But if there's another option where the retailer can diversify their options for delivery, especially in today's times where people want their things a little bit faster. Because when I got into the industry back in the day, and let's say the earlier days of online ordering, like the typical delivery time was like, and on the very low end, about 5 days, up to about 14 days. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, people want their stuff. If I order something right now and I hit the pay button right now, if I can get it within the next hour for an additional fee, depending on if that fee is modest or not, then most people want it right now. Eventually, you're going to see 1 hour delivery, and then eventually after that, you'll probably start seeing less than an hour delivery. This is why you have stores now. One of the main reasons retail stores are utilizing the apps, one, for on-demand delivery, and two, they're doing fulfillment out of the store. It's easier to do fulfillment out of the store, right, for quicker delivery, right? Because if a person is ordering, let's say, something from Costco, and there's a Costco within 5 miles from you, then 9 times out of 10, the order is going to get routed to that closest Costco. Is going to come into the app. It's going to find the nearest driver. They're going to get summons. They're going to go there and pick it up. And this is how you get the item quicker. So, this is why apps are tapping in, and the apps are taking less than what the 3PLs are taking right off the top, which makes it more it makes it more, what's the word I'm looking for? Appealing to the contractor or the person, whoever, who's got the truck or the cargo van, to take the gig work versus the 3PL work, because the gig dedicated work, it may be paying more than likely more stop than what the 3PL is paying. 3PL has a bigger infrastructure, right? So it's understandable why they normally take 45%, 50%, 55%, shit like that. Whereas the app is pretty much, once the technology and the coding is done, right, there's people on the back end that manage and, micromanage and manage the software, but the technology is pairing the people up. Okay, I'm in this zip code. This is the nearest store. This is the nearest driver. Boom, we compare this driver who's in this area already at this store. This store has this item in stock, right, for in-store fulfillment. They'll go there, they'll pick it up, they'll take it to this person, and we can get it done within a shorter time frame, which will ultimately help the person return to that store, that online store, to buy more things from that store, which is ultimately going to help the store make more money, help us as an app make more money, and it's going to keep the service provider that's operating on the gig apps busy so that they can stay on our apps and not go to any other apps. So just signed up with RXO Final in Dallas. Okay. Long process, but as well, yeah, RXO is a very, very stringent company to work for. I had my run with XPO, right, which is the main company before they created that sister company RXO a couple years ago. And XPO, RXO, all their subsidiaries, they have a very rigorous onboarding process. I didn't have to go through onboarding because they acquired a company that my company was already contracted with. But even after, and you're probably new to the channel, or maybe not because I told this story before, but even after they acquired it and after running for them after they acquired this company, when they finally decided to, implement their structure, I walked away. I walked away. It's very expensive to run for XPO. The insurances that they require, they're very, to me, at that particular time, even now, as far as the per stop, they've always been real shrewd, and they don't show no flex. Ain't no negotiating with RXO or XPO. But man, good luck. What are apps? Just like any other app. Like you got the Facebook app, the Instagram app. It's just apps for service providers to do deliveries on that are partnered up with retailers. So, but yeah, I think I can agree with those guys as far as, you know, what I think the reason why a lot of the middle mile guys struggle more than any other box truck lane is because of the margins are a lot smaller, they're a lot tighter, and your what's the word I'm looking for? Your opportunity, not your opportunity, but because the margins are tighter and they're smaller, a lot of people who don't understand what their operational costs are, they fail, right? You got a real small window, a lot smaller than any other lane. And if you don't come in with a game plan, like I've seen some people say, oh, I don't need a business plan. What I need to have the plan and all that stuff, I'm just going to get out there and do it, right? I've seen other content creators say it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a few content creators say that, you know, you can go and you can plan and do all this stuff, but the best way is just to get out there and do it. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. That's stupid. You know why? Because most people that get into this business, they're working with a limited amount of capital. Limited amount. So get out there and try to feel your way through it without having a plan or ain't did no research. And let me know how long. See, here's the thing. Feeling your way through it is all, if you last, is all going to be determined on how much money you got. You got a whole bunch of money, you got $100 grand to feel your way through it, then yeah, you straight. But if you come in and all you got is 20, 30 grand to get in, and you figure 75% of that is gone just from getting in, acquiring your truck, whether you rent it or you put a down payment and buying it, your insurance, your down payment on your insurance, getting your authority, getting all your equipment, your straps, your load bars, your pallet jack, everything that's associated with getting started up. Let's say you come in with 20,000, 25, 30,000, and you blow 75, 80% of that. Now you're working with a limited amount of cash flow. Listen to these people that's telling you, man, all that shit that Buddy ass is talking about as far as planning and this and that and, you know, this, that, and that, all that smart guy shit. Fuck that smart guy shit. Don't do that. You gonna figure it out once you get out here. Do that. And let me know how it worked for you. Let me know how it worked for you. Because guess what? Figuring it out costs money because you're gonna make mistakes. And every time you make a mistake, it's gonna cost you money. And depending on how much money you got, is gonna determine if you're gonna survive from getting out there and figuring it out. Me personally, I'd rather have a plan. I'd rather come in with a plan. I'd rather do extensive research. I'd rather consume information from people that are experienced so that I can go around this learning curve as much as possible so I don't incur a lot of the cost of learning because I got a limited amount of capital. A lot of people listen to ignorant shit and they think the shit sounds good. And then they fall by the wayside. And then they end up, you know where they end up? On the call-in show. So, you know, people that do the smart guy shit, because successful business owners are smart, you know, they're not people that just do shit, right? And I said this yesterday, listen, even bank robbers create plans. Name me one bank robber. The dumb bank robbers just run into a bank with no plan. Smart bank robbers, they go in, they case the joint. They cased the joint a couple of times. They know the strong tellers. They know the weak tellers. How many security guards? But this security guard worked this day. This security man, the MMA looking security guard, I know he worked Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. It's some big, heavy set fat chick. She worked Tuesday and Friday and Saturday. We better off with her. And I know she be playing in her phone. She be having her head down playing. Listen, even bank robbers have plans. Why? Because they don't want to get caught. So if a bank robber can create a plan, you think you're going to start a business and you think you're just going to come in and just do it? You're going to be like the bank robber who goes into a bank without a plan. Coming into business, I don't give a goddamn what business you go into. Without a plan, you're going to be like a person going to rob a bank without a plan. That's exactly what you're going to be. The way you would think about a person running into a bank without a plan, that's what you are as a business owner starting a business without one. Because you would sit up there. If you sitting watching one of these shows and you look and this motherfucker coming, well, why did you run into the bank? Why did you do that? No, I never thought about it. I just knew I needed some money and I just ran into the bank. Well, you didn't sit here and plan it out? No. You gonna call them all type of goofies. You gonna say you tweaking, this, that, and the third. And you gonna be the same way if you start a business without a plan. So when I hear people say shit like this, and I see people consume it and champion it, it's more testament to why so many people fail. There's more people that have a poor mindset when it comes to just business and just shit in general than people that have a more polished mindset. When I hear bullshit, I know it's bullshit. And I don't consume it. I don't buy into it. There was a content creator last year that said the same thing. You know, I was giving them hell. Last year. He don't mess with me no more. You know, the 70% profit margin guy? That guy. Don't mess with me no more. Don't mess with me no more. You know, so smart guy shit is always going to take you further, all right? Just being, I'm going to feel my way through it. Yeah, feel your way through it. Let me know how that goes for you. Shot by Doyen. Say I'm a former operator, but now at dispatch, and a lot of these new carriers need a reality check. A lot of them do. Thoughts on modern day black people? Is we lost as a people, or there's hope? Thoughts on modern day black people? I was watching something the other day, and I wouldn't say it's modern day black people. I just think the younger generation in general is lost. I mean, each culture has their own problems, but I think when it comes to black people, I think we just need to. We need to do better, man. All right, I'm just gonna put it straight forward, right? We need more people, being a vessel to give people the information. I'm giving people the information. I'm not gatekeeping nothing. I've been sitting up here for 2 years giving people information. Some people like it, some people don't. Majority of people like it. There's some people that say ignorant shit like, oh, I'm just gonna get out here. I ain't trying to hear all that shit. That business plan and that market analysis shit. And just let you know that they're ignorant. All right? So, ignorance is bliss. And sometimes you just gotta let ignorant people hit their head. But I'm gonna still give people the information, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hold anything back. I answer questions, and I'm going to still hold people accountable, right? I think another part of, bringing the culture forward is calling people out on their bullshit. Now, some people don't like it, but here's the thing. I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. Listen, if you come into business and you're not doing what's in the best interest of you and your business, I'm not going to sit up here and coddle you. I'm going to say, I'm going to hit the tweaking button. I'm going to hit the goofy button, because you can't sit up here in front of me on a platform and tell me you're a business person and you don't know your cost per mile, or you don't know what it costs to operate your business. But you call yourself a business owner. How? And then you say you getting by. All right, well then that's a poor mentality to have too. Because you're going to get by until you don't get by no more. It's all it takes is a person who gets by. All it takes is one breakdown, one malfunction, one time to go bad, and then you're no longer getting by. Now it's over with. You don't. A business is created to get ahead, not get by. You can go get by. You can go. Listen, it's people that's, and this is crazy. You can go do, if you want to get by, just go get a part-time job, or go get a minimum wage job. And what's the crazy thing is people that got part-time and minimum wage jobs that's getting ahead. They surpassing getting by. So if you're set to a certain standard of being a business owner, right, with the potential of having people under you, and you have a just get by mentality, and you don't know what your operation costs, how do you think you're going to run a successful business when you got people that eventually may come after, you may want to start hiring, and you can't even direct them, you can't even lead them, because you're not even handling the business right. Now, as far as the younger generation, I think they just lazy. They lazy. They don't want to do shit. They sitting on TikTok complaining about how broke they is and how they work all week, and they not making enough to get by, and all this clown ass shit. Why I gotta work 40 hours a week and this, that, and that, and they just lazy. They soft. They lazy. They soft as hell. They want to go party and eat expensive dinners and take pictures of the dinners and go to clubs and social and take trips and do all this shit that costs money, but they don't want to work for the money. And they ain't got a pot to piss in. They ain't got a window to throw it out of. They parents is paying their cost of living, because the money that they is making, they jagging it off on all this shit that's not best for them. And they don't want to work. They crying on TikTok, doing all these dumbass challenges about how broke they are and all this goofball ass shit. Instead of putting their head down, the time they doing all that shit, they could be out working, making some money. They want to sit down and do nothing and expect money to come in. All right, no problem. We got something for you. We got something for you. They call migrants. So you know what? Keep complaining, keep being soft and not wanting to work, and complaining about 40 hours a week and why you should have to go and crying on TikTok with real tears because it's not made up. They really feel like that. Keep complaining and being lazy, and then while you complaining and being lazy and not wanting to work, that gap is getting wider and wider and wider. Right? It's getting wider and wider and wider. All right? So those are my answers for that. Had a new authority tell me the other day he wants loads that are $2 to $3 amount. He's in a box truck. You should have told him to kick rocks. Tell him good luck and kick rocks. Let me see some of this stuff. We need to respect the game and how it is and stop trying to take shortcuts as people. Well, here's the thing. People that take shortcuts, they have their business has a short lifespan. Ain't no shortcuts. Here's what I learned, man, from just doing this shit. It is what it is. You got to understand, in life, you got people that get it and you got people that don't. You got the haves and the have-nots, right? In reality, we need certain people to do what's not in the best interest for them. I say it all the time. They get mad. They in here now. They getting mad right now. You know what I'm saying? We need people to do things that's not in the best interest for them. I need these people. When I go to the gym, I need somebody to scan me in. The parking garage, I need somebody. If I scan my little members key, I need somebody to explain to me why it didn't beep. If the machine is broke, I need somebody to be there till they can put a little note that says, do not use broken. I need somebody there that's going to clean the toilet, right? I need people when I go to the grocery store. I need somebody at the self-checkout when I scan the shit twice by mistake to come take one off for me. I need to make sure there's somebody there that is stocking the shelves. And I'm not saying this in a bad and arrogant way. I'm just being honest. If everybody was rich and everybody was a business owner, who would we have to do the things that we need done? If I'm a trucking owner, I'm not in grocery, I'm not in retail. But if everybody in the world was a owner in some other sector, when I go to the grocery store, who's gonna fill the shelves? Who's gonna receive the load in the back? Who's gonna push the freight to the floor overnight? The overnight team. Who's going to deliver the mail? Who's gonna deliver the packages? Who's gonna mop the floor? Who's gonna be the garbage man? Who's gonna be the person, at the club that's gonna beat a guy up and throw him out and open the door with the guy's head when he throwing them out? Who's gonna be the guy at the club when somebody get pissy drunk and they vomit all over their section? Somebody got to clean that shit up. But if everybody was rich and if everybody was a business owner, a lot of the shit that we need in the world to get done, it wouldn't get done. So it's just like any other market, right? Things are going to correct themselves, right? The market is going to fish out all the weak hands. It's like we say in the stock market. Sometimes the market can get manipulated and the weak people get shaken out. The strong people survive, right? And when the weak people get shaken out, nine times out of 10, they don't come back. They have to go do something else, right? Same thing with business. You have a bunch of people coming to the trucking business. The strong survive, the weak, they get phased out. It is what it is. Only the strong survive. Some people don't like to hear it because somebody told them they was going to come in, they was going to make $1 gazillion, and they only want to hear the good shit, which the good shit is in the information like that I give on how you succeed and how you don't fail. But that shit sounds too hard because it involves cost per mile calculations. The word work was used, and I didn't start a business to work. I started a business so that I can go down to Houston and kick it all weekend and then go straight from Houston to ATL and kick it. And while I'm traveling all over the country kicking it, I got my box truck up there and they running from state to state making money, and then that money is going into my account, and then I'm taking that money and I'm kicking it with it. That ain't how the shit work, bro. But that's how a lot of people think it work until they come in, and then they spend all their money coming in, and then they go download DAT, and then the brokers ain't giving them the loads. That rental truck company, Penske and Ryder and Enterprises, that week is about up again. They finna hit you again for about 800-900 of them, right? And you ain't made no money because the brokers ain't giving you no loads. And if the brokers is giving you loads, you looking at shit that say 1,300 from New York to Montana, and you see 1,300, you take it, not understanding that it's gonna cost you way more than $1,300 to run that load. And then you run it, you figure out you lost, and then now you dead heading back from Montana all the way back to New York empty, so you losing more money because you couldn't book nothing, and your driver was complaining, and now you lost because you thought it was gonna be a lot more simpler. But you didn't. Now you realize it that you got in. You didn't have a plan because Man and following them over there on the other channel with the subscribers and all the fancy shit told you, man, just get in here and do it. And you did that. And now you learning the hard way. And you almost out of money. See, them the shortcuts, just jumping in, not doing the smart guy stuff, just jumping in, getting out there and running. That's the shortcut. And that's why it's a 90 to 10. And 90 ain't a good 90. 90 is a bad 90. 90 people, 90% of the people that come in fail. Only 10% make it. Because only 10% do what's in the best interest of them prior to getting into business. I thought about a box truck business. What do I need to know? I'm a small box truck. I own a small box truck for my current business. Where are you located at? Shout out to Moving Company Hustle. This generation can make way more money than we did. They can. But what this generation wants to do to make a lot of money, it just goes back to what I just said. They see content creators. They see, sneaker resellers. They see Kai Cenat. Only a minimal amount of people will be able to do what the people who they admire are doing. It's not going to be that many Kai Cenats. It's not going to be that many I don't know who's a big person on TikTok or who's a big person on Instagram. It's only going to be a few of those people, right? So now you got a bunch of people who want to be content creators because they heard YouTube was paying a lot of money, which is cap, right? But they quit their jobs or because they lazy and they want to be at home all the day. They say, oh, I'm going to be a content creator. And if I could just make $10,000 a month off of YouTube, I'll be straight. And then they realize they do that and they realize, wait a minute, hold on. This ain't paying like that. Yeah, because the person that you listen to fluffed you. He fluffed you or she fluffed you. It's not like that. But you didn't even do your research on that to realize it. They can make a lot more money. They can make a lot more money than my generation did, right? Because technology is way more advanced now than it was back then, right? But the way they want to do it, following the people that they see doing it, making a lot of money, only a few people can do that. Everybody can't code. So you're not going to have that many people out here developing apps. You're not going to have that many Kai Cenats. You're not going to have that many of these guys that they see making all this money. So it goes back to the 90-10. 90% of the people that try to do these things are going to fail. Only 10% are going to succeed. They can work 2 jobs and be really good and invest to be great. Now, here goes something that's a good point. Here's on the flip side. The people in this generation that do have to be honest with themselves and go out, they may have to work 2 and 3 jobs just to survive, right? Multiple streams of income, and that multiple streams of income don't necessarily mean side business. It could be side hustles. You could have your career and you might have to go out and Instacart. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because the cost of living is a lot higher now. Whereas back in my day, a person can go out and work 1 job and have enough to pay the bills, take care of a family, and save money. It's not like that no more. Why? Because wages aren't scaling at the rate of inflation. The rate of inflation is running a lot faster in an upward trajectory than wages. Okay, yeah, well, the minimum wages in some places are $20 an hour now. Yeah, in California, fast food workers are making $20 an hour. Okay, what's the average price of a 1-bedroom in California? Can $20 an hour cover a 1-bedroom plus the utilities, plus transportation to and from work, plus eating? Forget discretionary spending. Take discretionary spending out the equation. $20 an hour in LA. Can it cover living costs? No. Which goes back to what I'm saying. They got to work. Not only do they got to work harder. Not everybody is going to be the next social media multi-gazillionaire that got popular because he did a backflip off a bridge and and landed and got popular, or ain't nobody like the Hawk Tour or whatever. I just found out about that last week. I'm like, why does everybody keep saying Hawk Tour? What is this Hawk Tour? Somebody asked, somebody had to send me the video. You got to put the Hawk Tour. So this chick is getting interviews and shit because she said some goofball ass shit. So now she's making money, but she's gonna have her 15 minutes of fame. But now you got chicks probably running around trying to come up with some sexual references so that they can get popular because they don't want to take their funky ass to work. Everyone too focused on staying high, so take low income jobs just to not drug test. Listen, if they want to stay high, let them stay high. It just goes back to what I said earlier. Appreciate them. Appreciate them. You know why? Because this is why we took out a stake in Square. Because I see a trend. I see a new trend. I'll get it some more free of people paying by 4. So no problem. Keep paying by 4. We'll just take a stake and block. No problem. Whenever there's blood in the street, there's opportunity. Whenever there's economic collapse, there's opportunity. I look for the opportunity in things. People want to do what's not in the best interest for them, no problem. Yes, Boss Trucks, he said he deserves it. What up, Clarence? SAR says, how old are you? 44. Zupchuck says, someone has to work. We need people to work. This is why industries will correct themselves. There's no business you can get into and everybody's going to win. Only the strong win. The reason why everybody doesn't win is because it's not enough room for everybody. We need people to do other things. We need the economy to grow and sustain. And in order to sustain, we need people, we need mechanics. When you go to Jiffy Lube, we need people in there. When you go to the grocery store, we need people in there. We need pharmacists. So I'm not going to just use, you know, the smaller scale minimum wage jobs. Let's say we need pharmacists, we need doctors, we need lawyers, we need all this shit. So industries are going to cycle out the weak and only keep the strong, just so that those people that get cycled out can fall back into the economy and do things that we need them to do. People say blacks are racing against Asians. Is that true? How? Racing against Asians in what sense? I was a bouncer for 10 years, the perfect side job while I grew my company. Yeah, probably in your market. I wouldn't recommend anybody be a bouncer here, though. Some of these carriers can't afford their drivers. Some of these carriers don't deserve drivers. Some of these carriers don't need drivers. Some of these carriers never driven themselves. This is another reason why they don't know how to operate a business or even operate a business with employees. They don't understand the business. They haven't put themselves through the learning curve to be able to run a business, let alone run a business with an employee. You know how many people I've told since I've been on YouTube that have came to me struggling with a multitude of trucks? You know what I've told them? Y'all seen them on the call-in show, and then they make the frown face and they get mad. I said, bro, you never been. What's the one guy? He complained he wasn't making no money. He got 5 rental trucks. I said, bro, you never drove the truck? No. I said, well, you need to get on the truck. You need to take 4 of them trucks back. You need to lay all those 4 people off. You need to just focus on one truck and run it yourself. Man, I don't want to do that. All right, well, then continue to fail. You don't even know. You never ran on a truck before. This is why you failing. You trying to be big boss saying you got 4 and 5 and 6 trucks and all this shit, and all that shit sound good, but if you don't know how to run them, how do you expect to sustain? You don't know what you're doing. So you need to scale back, learn, get your ass on the truck. I don't want to get on the truck. All right, well then, hey, good luck. I drive a box truck for any companies. Any tips? If you talking about tips as far as being an employee for the company, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Be a model employee. You know, whatever whatever is in the scope of your job, you do these do your perform at your job as best as you can. Go above and beyond, and don't do anything to get yourself in trouble. Now, if you're asking me from a perspective on maybe possibly one day building your own company, then learn as much as you can while you're there. Learn as much as you can while you're there, so that when you do step away, you can take a lot of that valuable information that you learned there and got paid to learn with you. But even if they want to work a 9 to 5, some of these 9 to 5, a lot of the 9 to 5s pay more than they paid back then, but the cost of living is higher. So even with the 9 to 5s paying more, the cost of living is a lot higher now than it was back then. So, and guess what? The cost of living has scaled and grew a lot more than what the wages are. So even though the wages are higher, the cost of living now in comparison to then, depending on when you're thinking about then, is higher. Fazil said it can't cover anything, and he lives in California. There you go. So $20, $21, whatever Gavin Newsom passed out there, it doesn't. Listen, the cost of living there is higher than it is here, and it's high here. So it $20 an hour can't cover a 1 bedroom here, depending on the area. The average 1 bedroom. Last I looked, the average 1 bedroom was like $2,100 a month. All right, so $20 an hour ain't paying that. Shout out to Marie. Shot by Doyen said that girl made $1 million in a week by that phrase. See, she got lucky, but now everybody's trying to be the next her. There's a bunch of people trying to figure out funny phrases so that they can embarrass themselves, right? Because I mean, y'all know what that means, right? So now you got people out there, women out there that are trying to find phrases so that they can humiliate themselves so that they could possibly get in a situation like her. It's crazy. Zinto said, what am I talking about? Well, maybe you should come in, pay attention, catch up, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. All right. Somebody said, where are you from? I'm in Chicago. All right. So, all right. That's my spiel for today. I just wanted to come on and cook up, man. You run a middle mile, man, understand if you're looking to get a middle mile, understand it's a lot more difficult. You got to, manage your costs a lot more precisely. The margins are a lot tighter. All right, so it's a lot more advanced. There, the workload is a little bit easier outside of the driving, right? But your margins are smaller, which means you have to do more mental work. You got to make sure you keep your costs down. You may have to pay more attention to the fuel stations. Listen, and when I said it, I wasn't joking. If I came in and I ran the middle mile, I would be like a coupon clipper. I'm looking for the best bargains everywhere. Everywhere. I'm looking for the best bargains because the margins are that tight. And that's why so many people in the middle mile are failing, and you don't really see those complaints in any other lane in the box truck business. Maybe Amazon from time to time, but Amazon is similar to middle mile. It's It's a market. You're pulling off their load board. They have their own load board. So it's based on a market, supply and demand. Anything where you have people eating off of you before you even get a chance to bid on it, what do you expect? And you got more competition too. And that competition is also, it affects what the market pricing is. That's what you expect. So you gotta be better with your math. You gotta do your cost per mile weekly. You gotta make sure you continuing to keep your costs low as possible. It's a lot of work, mental work. And if you can't do it, then you listen, I got a whole show of case studies for you. And what's crazy is every person I ask, well, did you do a business plan? No. Did you do a business plan? No. But then you got people on the internet say, oh, I don't need a business plan. I'm just going to get out there and do it. How much money you got? Oh, I got 10,000, 12,000, 20,000. Man, you think $10,000, $20,000 and running middle mile is a bad? To fight the learning curve? Are you crazy? You know how much? Even bank robbers have plans. That's why I love when people say shit that just don't make no sense, because then I come right back and say something just make a motherfucker just feel so small. Even a fucking bank robber has a plan. You running out there, starting a business, I'm gonna say this one more time, I wanna leave you with this. Run out there and just feel your way through it. You like a person running in a bank with no plan. The dumbest shit, some of the dumbest shit. And this is why, I'm gonna say this is why people be where they be at, and this is why we over here. I'm gonna be right here in the house. Chilling. Chilling like a villain. Paid. You know why? I had a plan. Listen, we put the bag up. The bag, how long the bag been up? The bag been up. We still waiting on the debate. I need somebody to show me how you can go start a business willy-nilly. Can somebody give me a case study of a successful willy-nilly? Somebody that just ran out there, they didn't know what the hell they was doing, and they just made it. That started from an advanced level, that didn't know what the hell they was doing, that had minimal resources, and that just made it. Can somebody give me a case study of that individual? I would like to meet that person. I got some questions for that person. If you're driving a box truck, you got to put away at least 10 to 15% of your paycheck each time you get paid for business expenses. Amazon has killed too many small delivery businesses. But see, we talked about this 2 years ago. I got a lot of flack for it. Remember? Go look at the old content. Everything that's happened with that business model 2 years ago, I said it was going to happen. How come every time I say shit is going to happen, nobody gives me my flowers? It's just silent. I've been said this shit with Amazon. I said, man, you know why? This is what I said exactly. I said, there's two business models that Amazon already had where they restructured it on multiple occasions, and each time they structured it, they made it, the protocols got more stringent. They got more stricter to phase people out. Here's the thing. with new business models that are dealing with, that are disruptors, right? All right, so let me put it like this and I'm gonna get out of here. Amazon was a disruptor, right? Similar to like what Uber did, similar to like what even some of your gig companies, as far as the food gig company deliveries. Amazon was a disruptor, right? So being a disruptor, they dealt with an overabundance of new customers. We can talk about it now, right? Because it's history. It's historical data, right? Look how quickly their online business scaled. 2015, they really hit it big. It was the first $100 million year. 2016, 2017, they just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He kept buying shit. He started buying healthcare companies. He started buying insurance companies. He was ordering trucks, and then he redid the DSP model. Okay, the DSP model was similar to what Relay was, right? We're letting these contractors go out, we're letting them rent the white vans, and we're just letting them contract and pull off the board. But what happened? They weren't doing what was in the best interest of themselves, and it was leaving a visual stain on Amazon, because Amazon deemed themselves as a company of high standards, right? You had vans that had spray paint and gang paraphernalia, spray painting, and these people pulling up to people's house with bumpers hanging off. So, okay, Amazon, all right, we got something for you. We're going to let go as many of these DSPs as possible. We only going to keep the big ones, and we're going to restructure that platform. We're going to buy our own vehicles that are branded. We're going to lease them to you. You're going to pay for them. You're going to pay us to lease them. You're going to pay for the maintenance. And then if we decide to terminate you, even if you have a great score, we're going to hit you with a bill that's going to end up bankrupting you. If something happens, it's in our contract. We're indemnified from any and all liability, so you're pretty much on your own there, right? But we're going to also keep the policies laxed. Why? Because we got so much volume coming in, right? Because we've disrupted this industry. We got all these people, we got all these orders, and we've just even made it tougher on ourselves because we've introduced, this 2017, two-day delivery. Then they went from two-day delivery to one-day delivery. So think about it. The stringent policies that they've implemented within the past years, imagine if they did that in 2017 or 2018, or let's say 2020, 2021, when volume was at its highest as it's ever been. A lot of the people that ran those loads wouldn't have been able to run those loads because they wouldn't have qualified to get on the platform in the first place. So Amazon, being a company like most other companies that are, greedy, they said, you know what? We're gonna be laxed on a lot of the protocol. Yeah, we're similar to what FedEx and UPS, and they're real strict, but we're not gonna be as strict as them right now, because if we be as strict as them, we're not gonna be able to move all this freight. Because a lot of these, you think Amazon Relay didn't know Pookie and Man was in the box truck business during the pandemic? You think they really didn't know Pookie and Man? When Pookie and Man was pulling up to your favorite facility across the country, wherever it was, and they was walking in there with their pants hanging all down off their ass, and they was in there saying unfold them. You think the people that what color is the supervisor vest in there? The supervisors wear different color vests, whatever vest color they wear, yellow. The yellow vest people, you think they didn't know that was Pookie and Man? Of course they did. But guess what? We can't get rid of Pookie and Man because there's so much volume. If we get tight, man, we ain't going to be able to move all this freight because we got next day delivery. All right, as soon as the volume slowed down, all right, man, we don't need all these people no more. But we just can't let them go. So what we going to do? We're going to do what we should have did in the beginning. We're going to tighten our policies up. And then you see people slowly, in the past 2 years, we're going to start tightening the policies up. It was known. I talked about all the time. Their policies were nowhere near as strict as UPS and FedEx. But now they're getting there. All the shit that was going on during the pandemic, they knew it was going on Pallets getting left outside of post offices. Trucks getting abandoned, freight getting abandoned. They knew this shit was going on. They let it go on. Why? Because they needed people. Now they don't need people. All right. Tighten up the policies. That'll phase people out. I said this shit. Didn't I say this shit? The content is still up there. Go back 2 years ago. Go back 2 years ago. So all the smart guy shit that people seem to have an issue with, the smart guy shit, why this smart guy can constantly forecast shit and tell shit what's going on. The guy that's sitting in the crib, the guy that ran a successful trucking company for many years. How did I know that? I told you how I knew it back then. I said, yo, Amazon has a history of repeating itself. They've done it with 2 other lanes before they created Relay. I saw them do it with DSP. I saw them do it with AFP. I said that 2 years ago. I said it's only a matter of time they're going to do it with this. You think a company of Amazon's magnitude is going to continue to let Pookie and Man leave pallets outside the post office? Well, me and Mark, why you think they will let them do it now? Because they need them now. They'll take the hit on that pallet. It's a pandemic. It's a lot of volume. But as soon as the volume goes down, guess what? Tighten up the policies. It's business. The writings was, listen. This shit ain't hard, bro. The writing be on the wall, man. It's just people that are coming into this business or people that are in this business or whatever, you want to believe just all the positive peaches and cream shit, but that's not business. If you thought they was going to continue to let Pookie and Ray leave pallets outside the post office and come in there with their pants hanging all off their ass and shit, and doing all the other shit that I heard people complaining that people was doing. Are we talking about Amazon? Like, y'all thought that shit was going to continue to go on forever and ever and ever? Like, this is a company of high regards. You think they was going to keep taking the stain in the media every other week or every other month when an Amazon delivery driver got into an accident and somebody got killed, even though that they weren't on the hook for it because in their contracts with the contractors in DSP, Amazon is indemnified and they just put all the liability on the contractor and leave them holding the bag and ruin their life. But they knew, like, yo, we got to fix this. This is a problem. We got to fix it. It's a problem. They had to fix it. It's just like any other business model. You know, so once again, I mean, you know, I think they had 2 other business models, DSP and AFP. And I said it then. Listen, they've done this before. They're going to do exactly what they did that I said 2 years ago they was going to do. They did. Why? Because I saw them do it twice before. They used people, and then when they didn't need them no more, they got rid of them with protocol. They just did an exodus. In 2017, 2018, they literally wiped out a whole business model and started it over again. Some of y'all probably wasn't paying attention to the industry back then. But literally, when DSP first started, up until 2017, it was all white vans. And the model was, first it started with one van, then you had to have 5 to onboard. But literally, you would just go to Ryder, you would go to Enterprise, and you would just rent 5 white vans. The policy was the vans had to be all white. But, you know, it was just so much. Some of the problems that y'all was complaining about during the pandemic, the same problems with that old DSP model. So what they did, they streamlined it. They bought their own trucks, they branded them, and they leased them, right? Because you know what? Now we're going to deal with the maintenance, and we're going to charge it back to you. But at least we know it ain't going to be no gang paraphernalia. The trucks is going to be up and operational. They're going to be presentable. For the most part, they're going to be, you know, they're going to function. We ain't got to worry about them malfunctioning. We can monitor them. We can micromanage. Remember I used to say micromanage all the time? And we just going to charge you for it all. You damage the truck, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because we pay you. We ain't going to take it right now. Just, you know, Element is the fleet management company if they still contracted with Element. And then when we decide to get rid of you, we are going to charge you. And 9 times out of 10, if you're running 20, 30, 40 vans, there's going to be issues. And I'm speaking from DSP. I'm using that as an example. So the example was there. I said it. I said it 2 years ago. So, what up? What up? G Baby from the Go. What up? It's a business model like firing, not rehiring. It'll get to the point where they'll have nobody. No, not true. They're gonna always have people. You know why? Because there's always going to be people exiting, and there's going to always be people re-entering, and there's going to always be people who are going to conform to whatever the new policies are. Not everybody is not going to conform. You're going to have some people that are going to conform, right? So you're going to always have people entering. You're going to have people exiting. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. It's just like someone said 2 years ago in my comment section, oh, they're not going to buy their own trucks because they ain't going to want to pay for the gas. Listen, this is what I'm saying. Like some of the people who ain't been in this business that are spectators or consumers of information who don't understand business, say ignorant shit like that. You think Amazon gives a fuck about gas? This is when you make me curse when people say dumb shit. You think Amazon gives a fuck about paying fuel? Honestly, somebody said that shit. I did a whole segment on that shit, and I highlighted that comment. Amazon ain't gonna buy their own trucks because they ain't gonna want to pay for the fuel. One, they're not gonna pay for the fuel. They're gonna pay for it up front, and they're gonna charge it back to the contractor, DSP, right? And even if they do pay for the fuel, which we see now 2 years later, what did I say? They're gonna start buying their own box trucks, which they did. They're going to have DSP run them. And guess what they're doing? You think they give a fuck? You talking about a lot of people that say shit like that, they don't even know how Amazon makes most of their money. This is why I'm dying to have a debate, because I just want to take somebody's money so bad. I know I'm going to win. I just want to take somebody's money. People that say dumb shit about that, or they're not going to want to pay fuel, they don't even know how Amazon makes it. Listen, they got one of the best business models, subscriptions. They got over 100 million people that subscribe. They just pay $12.99, $13.99. I don't even know what the fuck it is anymore. They just take it out of my account. I don't even pay attention to $10, $12 shit that comes out of my account. Whatever it is, $19.99, whatever the hell it is, it just comes out. They got over 100 million people that they take $20 a month from every single month. The same as Netflix. Why do you think these companies are perform really, really well in the stock market. They have one of the best business models, subscription-based model. You think they give It's people in this chat that when they truck needs fuel, they just pull over. They don't even look at the gas price. So you think if regular people that when they need gas, they pull over and they sustainable that to a point where they don't even look at the price of fuel, whether it's for their business or their personal. You think Amazon cares about fuel? As you said, they ain't getting their next gen workers. Yeah, they are. You know who they're gonna get? Listen, by them purchasing their own trucks, they're gonna get all the people from South America. They're gonna do the work. That's no problem. See, the American Gen Z or next generation people who don't want to work, no problem. Listen, I don't know if this is why they open up the borders or not. I'm starting to lean more towards voting, right? To keep the Democrats in, right? But a benefit for, blue collar industries is the fact that all the shit that Americans are complaining about, and it don't even matter the demographic or the ethnicity, as long as they're American, first generation American, right? Or older generation American. As long as they were born here, they're entitled, they're privileged, even if they are poor. Even poor people here, in comparison to other poor people in other places around the world, are more entitled and privileged. So to the American, in comparison to a person who comes from, let's say, a third world country, who their whole life is based around delayed gratification, right? Delayed gratification is like their way of life because that's just what it is. They're going to take all these jobs. No problem. You mean, well, I can drive a truck? Listen, I can drive a truck and make $24 an hour. They're going to be like, I never made this much money in my life. I can take care of 5 families with 20. Listen, they could probably take care of 4 or 5 families with $24 an hour. I'm telling you how they're going to do it. They're going to have 4 or 5 families. They're going to go rent a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. They're going to have 3 or 4 families live in there. All the men going to continue to go out and work. They're going to pull their resources together, put their money together. They're gonna share everything, the rent, the utilities, everything. The wives is going to stay at home, be homemakers, have babies. Some of them is going to go out and work. When the kids get old enough to go to school, then they going to go out and work. So now you got 2 incomes coming in. And then next thing you know, you got this new company starting up, that new company starting, that new company, because you know why? They're going to be able to utilize the resources from the government. Being an immigrant, they're going to be able to get all those, things the government gives these people. You know what I'm saying? Benefits and to start businesses and shit. That's not a problem. They're going to always find work. No problem. Or listen, they're going to find people to work. Don't worry about that. They're going to find people work. Why do you think were to go up? Because gasoline companies don't know what life would be like in 20 years. Here's the thing. Amazon is ordering. They got a contract with Rivian. They order in advance. The point that I'm trying to make is somebody said something crazy 2 years ago in my comment that Amazon wasn't going to never start buying trucks, which they did because they not going to want to pay for gas. And now 2 years later, we see that person who left that comment didn't know what the hell they was talking about. Right. So the point that I'm trying to make is whether it's gas or electric, they're going to have people to drive them. That's not going to affect anything. We have infusion of new people into this country that are looking to work. That's not a problem. That problem is already solved. It's already solved. What an American privileged person won't do, somebody from South America, one of these migrant countries that came up here will. Ain't no big deal. I don't see that as an issue. I don't see Amazon going nowhere no time soon. Not in the next at least 10, 15 years. Not to say that they might not end up like you've seen other companies in the past get, displaced, but I don't see them getting displaced anytime soon. Our electrical grid can handle electric vehicles if everybody swaps over. The grids can't handle it. If everyone switched over now, the grids wouldn't be able to handle it, but we still got about another 11 years. The grid is going to get better. You got companies that are working on it now. You got tech companies that are working on it now. Listen, the electric thing is going to be, what is it, 2024? We got 11 years before the infrastructure bill goes into effect on a federal level. They're working on the technology for that now. I'm not worried about that. Here's the thing. I don't really care one way or the other, but here's the thing that I can tell you from, I don't know how old you are, 44. When you see things shifting, they're going to shift. Whether you like it or not, we're going in that direction. So you got to embrace the change. The people that's part of the MGM, the members, they already know what I'm doing to embrace the change. It is what it is. Listen, whether you agree with it or not, it's coming. So it's best to do what's in the best interest for you early so that you can benefit from it. You're looking at it from your perspective. I'm looking at it from a totally different perspective. The way you're looking at it is something that's going to happen 11 years down the line. I'm looking at something that's 11 years down the line that I'm taking interest in now. So then 11 years down the line, when it happens, I can cash out 7, 8 figures. At the end of the day, it's going to happen. So do you want it to happen and have to embrace the change from a consumer perspective that's still working, or do you want to do it, embrace the change from an investor perspective who got a 10, 11-year head start? It's going to happen. That's what you got to understand. That shit going to happen, regardless of it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So California, Gavin Newsom, I think his policy is 2030 on the state level, if I'm not mistaken. It may be 2035, whatever. But it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. Listen, they're not giving $7,500 credits and all this stuff for nothing. All right? And if the Dems stay in, it's definitely going to happen because it was part of the infrastructure bill. If Joe Biden wins, that's going to give us Joe Biden to what? 25, 6, 7, 8. He's going to come out in 28. So his inauguration will be in January 20th of 2029. And if the Dems win in 2029, that's 29, 30, 31, 32, right? That's going to pretty much take us there. So even if in 32 and 33, when let's say Republicans get in, then it's not going to be enough time for them. It's already said and done, right? Because the closer it gets, the more vehicles you're going to see on the road. You already see them ramping up now. You got companies that are bringing more electric vehicles onto their platform and taking off gas vehicles. Man, they're not waiting for 2035. They're investing into the technology now. Why? Well, you can't wait we need to be ramped up and ready to roll. We need to make sure we have a whole product line by the time that time comes, and that takes time. This is business. This is business. And it's going to happen. 2035, it's 11 years, but 11 years is going to go by quick, man. Listen, to me, what is it, 2024? To me, in some cases, 2014 seemed so far ago, but in some cases, it seemed like it wasn't that long ago. Shit, goddamn it, the pandemic was 4 years ago. It started, March of 2024. It don't even feel like it was 4 years ago. It feel like it was last year when they shut everything down. And everybody was on their balconies flashing lights and shit like that and all that goofball shit. And then George Floyd and everybody was out protesting and tearing shit up. That shit don't feel like it was 4 years ago. But it was 4 years ago. Time is moving. The older you get, some of y'all probably young. I'm older. I'm 44. The older you get, time moves quick. It moves fast. Shit, it's 2 o'clock. It felt like it was just 9 a.m. It's already 2 o'clock. Time is moving. Let's get the one out of here. See, these Pakistani people, they love with this Michael Blackson joke. Everybody's black is Michael Jackson. That's how you can tell it's a Pakistani. They call every black person, when they troll, they call every black person Michael Blackson. Hey, so the one, let me do you a favor. Let me get you out of here. Azure said can't afford an electric vehicle. No problem. You might not be able to afford one now, but as time goes on, companies are all right. So here's the thing, and I really we break down that sector a lot in the members section. So I'm gonna do a basic deep dive analysis really quick on that sector. That sector is still early, right? That sector is still early. Over time, companies are going to be able to produce more economical, more affordable electric vehicles, right? If you look at the trend, most electric vehicle companies, the first vehicle that they introduce to the market is their signature vehicle, their flagship vehicle. If you look at Lucid, that's the Air, right? That's their signature vehicle. Tesla, when it first came out, it was the Model S. Fisker, when it first came out, it was the Karma, right? They start with the high level, right? Because the reason why they start with their signature vehicle, their most expensive vehicle, is similar to, let's say, like the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, right? Is because the higher the vehicle, the more margin, the more profit margin it is there, right? And with these companies, when they come out with their signature vehicle, which is the most expensive vehicle that'll be in their lineup, right? When they first release them, 99% of the time, it's not at profit. Rivian right now, every Rivian you see on the street, Rivian took a loss on it. Rivian is not profitable. They lose about, what, 40 grand on each vehicle that you see? Is that the number, 40 grand? They're not a profitable company. Every vehicle that they sell, they sell it at a loss, right? Right? They're trying to become profitable, but it's easier to become profitable with the signature vehicles, the more expensive vehicles, because the margins are better, right? Once you get down to more economical vehicles, cheaper vehicles, the margins are a lot smaller, right? So look at it like this. Now an average vehicle on a small scale, let's just talk gas vehicles, right? About $40,000. Whereas 5, 6, 7 years ago, you can go buy an economical vehicle about $27,000, $28,000. The reason why you see a lot of companies getting away, Ford got rid of their whole product. Ford don't even sell cars except the Mustang. They only sell trucks, SUVs, and crossovers. Why? Because the margins are better. They got rid of the Fusion. They got rid of the Taurus, the 500. They don't sell any cars, only the Mustang. When inflation went up, the cost of living, we can associate it with that. It became hard. Listen, if we can't sell an economical car no longer at an economical price, we might as well just get rid of that product line altogether. And that's what you see companies doing. By 2035, Rivian, Tesla, BYD already has a $10,000 EV. Our government won't let BYD infiltrate this market from a consumer standpoint. They let BYD in as far as their buses. You see electric BYD buses here on the commercial side, but they won't let BYD come into this market for cars. Why? Because Tesla, they wouldn't put them out of business, but Tesla doesn't have an economical car. They were going to produce the Model 2, right? But they pushed the production for Model 2 back. Rivian, their next car is the R2, and that's going to be a crossover. But over the next, let's say 6, 7, 8 years, as these companies like Rivian become profitable, right? Tesla already has an economical car, the Model 2, but I think they said that's going to start at like 38. That's still pricey. But over time, they'll find a way to produce these cars at cheaper costs to bring the prices down, right? So in 10, 11 years, you'll be able to afford one. No big deal. Don't worry about it. Excursion said, great example. It's just like the cellular phone in the 80s. Only the elite could afford them. Now everyone has one. Same with the EVs. Exactly. The big three is doing bad overseas. I hope so, because 80 million people still make less than $15 an hour. And, you know, here's the thing. This is why you got to figure out a way that you don't become 80 million people. You have to figure out a way so that you don't become 80 million people. So here's the thing, man. Like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, because it's really not bad news. I'm just being honest. I've never seen things go back to the way they were. In most cases, I've seen things get worse, right? I remember when I used to cross over to the border, right? And go over into Indiana right at the border, because gas is cheap over there because the taxes are over there, right? Boom. Taxes are cheap over there. I remember I used to fill up my Chevy back in like 98, 99 for 79, 89 cents a gallon for regular unleaded. Now, somebody watching, they probably like, oh, he lying, because they probably ain't that old to probably wasn't even living back then, definitely wasn't driving to even believe that gas was once that affordable. But yeah, back in the 90s, gas was like around $1 some a gallon. In some states, it was less than $1 a gallon. I would cross over the border and go over to Indiana, and I would fill up for 79, 89 cents a gallon. I could fill up for $7, $8. I remember when it went to $1, like $1.20, $1.30. People was ranting and raving. It sounds crazy now, ranting way over $1.30, but back then it was a big deal. Then when it went to $2, people thought they was going to die. Then it went to $2.50, it went to $3. Then Obama came in and it retraced back to like $1 and some shit. Then it went up. I remember when in 2013, 2014, we had seen it for $4 for the first time. Then Trump came in. It started going down towards the end of Obama's tenure. Then Trump came in. We was around like the $2.30 mark, $2.40. And now we back up to $5 again. I think 2 years ago, it got up to $7 in some places. But right now here, on average in the city, it's about $4.50, $5. The point is, it never went back to 79 cents again. But it was a lot of promises of it, but it never happened. Just like I said a year and a half ago, we'll never see a 3% rate no more. Man, you'll be lucky if you can get a 4% rate to buy a house, or a 5% rate. Inflation, 2%, probably not. It went from, what did I say earlier this year? I said we're not gonna see 3 rate cuts. I said we'll probably see 1 at the most. It's July. We're not getting 3 rate cuts. We may not even see 1. I said that. Jerome Powell said something different. Of course, people are gonna listen to what Jerome Powell says because he's Jerome Powell. But me, what do I always say? I pay attention to consumer buying behavior. People want to keep spending money. If they can't slow down the economy, how can they lower the rates? So they just put them on freeze. Now what are they saying? Oh, it's going to take some years to get back to 2%. I heard that one before. That was the same shit they said about fuel. Probably not. Not likely. There's too many opportunities out here. People not finna sit on their hands. The truth of the matter is, people are not finna sit on their hands and not spend money to bring the rates down, right? Man, listen, if a person got to go out and do something extra so they can go out and go party for the weekend and take that trip that they want to take, then that's what they're going to do. So it just is what it is. So, and going back to what I said early, when I hear people say things, and listen, here's the thing. This is educational banter. So this is not personal. Educational banter, when I hear things and I debate things or I speak on things, that's fine because it's fair when it's educational. When I hear people say things like, oh, none of this shit matters, you're a fool. And I hope you watching. This ain't a content creator, this is a viewer. I hope you a fool. If you don't think none of this shit matters, you a fool coming into business. Because all this shit affects business. How you maneuver throughout your tenure. So, me, I'm not scared to call people out on dumb shit. If I hear something that don't make sense, I'm gonna call you out on it, and I'm gonna state the reasons why this shit it don't make no sense, and I'm gonna give you the correct way of looking at this shit. Shit not gonna go back to the way it was. What's gonna happen is they're gonna keep promise you, then you're gonna hear them stop talking about it, and then eventually you're gonna get accustomed to just the way shit is, and you ain't gonna think about it no more. And then that's just gonna be the end of that until whatever the next economic collapse or downturn happens, and then you focus on that. Or they're gonna throw something in the mix like a war or a pandemic or some shit like that to distract you. They're gonna find some girl and tell her, yeah, okay, we're gonna just say Haktul, and then that's gonna take the mind, everybody's mind off what shit is important because everybody's focusing on that dumb shit. And that's how they get you every time. I used to be like that. I used to get got. It's good to consume that shit, but you can't lose focus on what's important out here. So, I know, state and federal both tax, the EV thing, but it's coming, and it's best to embrace it and see how you can capitalize on it. That would be my thoughts. But listen, that's my time. I may do a call-in show this evening. If you want to come on the call-in show, make sure you got your notifications on. Today may be the day, so if you see it pop up, make sure you got your notifications on. I'm probably only going to take 2 or 3 callers, so if you want to be one of those, the earlier, the better. Need better energy policies. EVs are a scam. They coming, so they coming. The only thing you can do is listen. In 2035, when you need a car and the only thing that you can purchase is an EV, then what do? What do? You buy EV, right? Trust me, I feel everybody's sentiment on this, but it's just like I tell people, That's fine and dandy. Yeah, it may be. But here's the thing. Where's the opportunity in it? I see what the opportunity. I'm not going to talk on the opportunity here, but we talk about it in the members only. There's still an opportunity there. There's an opportunity there. So here's the thing. It doesn't affect people who can afford it. So if we know it's coming, I'm going to give you a clue. If we know it's coming and it's early now, and you know as closer it gets, more products are going to come in, more technology, the grid, the charging stations, which means the market cap is going to go up and to the right. So as we get closer, the market cap for the whole sector is going to continue to go up and to the right. What do? That's the homework. What do you do right now? We can sit and complain about it because there's nothing you or I are going to be able to do about it. You know why? Because we're not part of 1%. We don't make the laws. We don't make the policies. Our voice don't even get heard. The fact of the matter is, it's coming. Like, they don't want gas vehicles on the street no more, man. You know what I'm saying? So whenever there's something that, it may be bad, there's also opportunity. So there's the clue. As it gets closer, you're going to look at a bigger and bigger market cap, right? So what do you do? What do you do now, 11 years prior to that? What do you do prior to that? See, me, I just got to deal with it. But here's the thing. I use this. As it gets closer, you're going to see more. Here's the clue. You're going to see more charging stations. You're going to see more vehicles. You're going to see a larger assortment of the lineups and these different companies. The grid is going to be excelled. You're going to see new players in the market. You're going to see more vehicles on the road as it gets closer, which is going to result to what? A larger market cap for that sector. 11 years down the line, as it goes, that market cap is going to get bigger and bigger. So 11 years prior now, what do? I know what I'm doing. It ain't what I'm going to do. It's what I've already been doing. Find out, but I can only find work for contractors. I want to just be an employee on the truck. Go work at a company, bro. Go work for a big company. I wouldn't even recommend working for an owner-operator. Go work for a company. Go work for a company. If you're looking to learn, go work for a company. Amazon is hiring box truck drivers. Go work for them directly. Or, go work for a contractor that runs Amazon Relay through Amazon with a box truck. Go work for them. I mean, I don't know any box truck people here that are looking to hire drivers, right? But, I would recommend you to something that's a little bit more sound, right? So Amazon has opportunities for box truck drivers because they micromanage their contractors. So you can apply with one of their contractors, right? You can go on Indeed, and then you can drive for the contractor directly through Amazon, but for the contractor. You're going to get you a nice new truck to drive. So you ain't going to have to worry about the truck having issues and none of that stuff. So, but yeah, that's my take on EVs. I'm not really tripping on it. That's just like saying well, man, man, this Amazon thing, man, they're saying in 20 years this thing is gonna put a lot of people out of business. I like to go to Barnes and Nobles and sit there and read books, and then sometimes I go over to Barnes and Nobles, and what was the other one? Borders bookstore. I like to sit there. They have the little coffee, the tea. I get me some tea, and I just sit there and read. And they're saying this Amazon thing is going to put these guys out of business, and then they're saying that they're just going to start selling everything. And then, I like going to Montgomery Ward. I like going to Venture. I like going to Kmart, and we just can't. It sucks, man, because, I grew up going to Kmart. What are we going to do without Kmart? I like going there and getting the popcorn. Was that the popcorn they used to sell at Kmart? When you walked into Kmart, you smelled the popcorn? I like this fresh smell of the popcorn when I go into Kmart. We can't let Amazon. There's going to be a lot of jobs that are going to be lost, and these companies are, they've been around since I was a kid. And guess what? That was an opportunity. People that would sit around and complained about it, guess what? It still happened, but the person who's thinking like I'm thinking without telling you what I'm thinking, but if you smart, you know what I'm thinking. They looked at that thing that was detrimental to the big box retail sector. They got in early, back in the 90s, and guess what? That thing was under $10. That thing during the pandemic damn near went to $4,000. All those companies that I mentioned, I got more. Service Merchandise, Circuit City. Do I need to go? See, I'm 44. See, I seen the transition. I seen the shit happen from the beginning. I got a chance to live through it so that I can talk about it. I saw these stores here. I remember going in there as a kid, and Kmart, you smell the popcorn, and Venture, and Zare, and Ames, and Service Merchandise, and Circuit City. I remember all these stores. They're here. They're not here anymore. Guess what? Walmart played a part. Did you complain to Sam Walton and all his kids that are billionaires when you go look at the Forbes list? How many Waltons you see on the Forbes list? How many Waltons do you see on the Forbes list? You could look at it as oh my God, Walmart is going to come take over all these small towns and put all these people out of business. Or you could have looked at, well, they're going to come and take over all these small towns. You said about 20 years. Let me go ahead and get in this thing now. So in 20 years, this thing that cheap? You sure now? All right, well, this thing, what, $2? All right, let me go ahead and get a bunch of this. And let me continue to dollar cost average into this thing. Whenever there is blood in the streets, it's opportunities. So to all the people that, man, that guy's always in the house. That's why I'm always in the house. Till next time.